Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lazy Universe and I'm White and Nerdy. And today we're going to be talking about Batman, a legendary character in his own right. Created by Bill Kane and Bob Finger, Batman had become a character that had seen the better of days. He had the dark incarnation, the goofy and campy incarnation, back to the dark incarnation, back a little bit to the goofy era, and now Batman had finally planted his feet in where he belongs, and the pop culture icon that he is today. Batman had been so famous throughout over the years, I think over 70 years by this point. Batman had seen his fair share of adventures, his fair share of tragedies, and his fair share of very popular movies, with The Flash movie being the last time that we have seen Batman, but it probably won't be for the last. Batman had been such an iconic character. And I mean, every time that you talk about Batman, someone has to bring up one of the very famous members of the Batman family. From the days of the amazing and legendary Adam West, who was the campy side of Batman, but also one of the most heroic Batmen that ever lived in evergreen cinema history, to the legendary and iconic Michael Keaton, who has held the role for so long and especially made a huge comeback when he was in the insanely popular kind of Flash movie. To the amazing era of the amazing, long gone but never forgotten Kevin Conroy, Batman had put a staple on the pop culture map and never moved far from it. No matter the incarnation of the character, Batman will always be a popular character for people young and old. Hell, I'm 28 years old and I'm still a fan of every Batman that's out there. No matter who you are or where you came from, you've heard of this popular superhero. You've seen him in some variety comic books, video games, movies, animation, etc. For you see, the world will always need a Batman to protect it. The world will always need a Batman to overlook its problems. The world will always need a hero it can look up to. And I can think of no better hero to be its savior than the one and only immortal Batman, who will be immortal for years to come, probably when I'm an old man in my ears. I'm sure you've heard me talk about Batman on this channel more times than once, and probably even more so towards the future. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Not my favorite as Spider-Man, but second favorite. But I can think of no series that got me into learning about Batman and other superheroes than probably his 2008 incarnation that we're talking about today. I know this intro was very, very long, but this is probably the hands down greatest series of Batman that you could ever check out, and even worth watching, that will get people to learn about the golden and silver age of Batman. Yes, I am of course talking about the only incarnation of Batman that is. Yes, that's right, my friends. We were talking about the immortal Batman the Brave and the Bold. I don't own the entire season. I only own the entire first season and then half of the second season. So I don't own it as a whole. I don't even own the weird third season that had short stories involved in it, kind of like that Justice League series, like whatever it was called, that had a bunch of short stories. Yeah. So Batman the Brave and the Bold was released in 2008. It made it staple upon the world as we know it. When I first heard about this on Cartoon Network, I wasn't really interested in it. But then curiosity got the better of me and I checked it out. And I was kind of glad that I did, because Batman the Brave and the Bold is one of my favorite incarnations of Batman. And sure, Batman isn't voiced by Kevin Conroy this time around, but instead Diedrich Bader, who still respected the character in itself, and he held the role tremendously. In fact, the series actually had a lot of vocal cameos from both Adam West, Kevin Conroy, Julie Newmar, the incredible Paul Rubens. Just countless of amazing voice actors had appeared in this series. But why was the celebration of the 2008 Batman that was out? Well, also because it was a celebration of Batman, because this new video game was coming out. Probably the reason why they couldn't get Kevin to voice Batman, since Kevin was voicing Batman for Batman Arkham Asylum and the upcoming Arkham City that was in development also around the time. So Kevin was a very busy man, but at least he did make a vocal cameo in this. If you wanted me to talk about my favorite episodes, you can find the top 10 Batman the Brave and the Bold episodes. I will even link it in the comments down below in case and also pin it in case you ever want to go and watch that video. But without further ado, what was Batman the Brave and the Bold? What exactly did it do for Batman? Well, it introduced us to the character again, but this time taking everybody back to the past to celebrate the golden and silver age of Batman. When you're a superhero that's been around for quite some time, Batman had to start somewhere. You have to find an incarnation of the character, and the crew on this TV series decided to go back to this golden age. The series decided, hey, we're gonna start with Batman. We gotta have a Batman series. So why not go back to the silver and golden age and show people what was so great about Batman from the days? And this series was a great way to introduce new people to Batman. This series was even incredible enough to get me interested on learning the golden and silver ages of Batman, which actually you would think is a compliment or a complaint, but it is a compliment. And this series had one special thing going for it. It had Batman teaming up with a bunch of different superheroes from his golden and silver counterparts. And especially he teamed up with a lot of weird heroes. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, didn't this be like Justice League, where he teams up with like Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl, and etc., etc.? Yeah. But no. This Batman teams up with a lot of different superheroes from his Golden and Silver Age counterpart. Like he teamed up with Etrigan the Demon, Detective Shimp, Deadman, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Wildcat. My favorite incarnation of the Outsiders is in this series, mind you. He teamed up with Plastic Man, who a lot of people kinda don't know, who was voiced by SpongeBob himself, Tom Kenny. He teams up with, Batmite. He teams up with the Batman from an alternate dimension. This series had him team up with everything and anything that was in the Golden and Silver Age era. And every writer on this series must have had fun going back to the Golden and Silver Age of Batman and thinking, what kind of ideas can we throw at the young viewers? What kind of idea can we do in this? And every idea they threw to the wall, and magically it stuck right to the wall, and it made it even better because this series was just really damn awesome to keep coming back to every single week. Every Friday, when you tuned in to Cartoon Network, there was always a different adventure for Batman to be having with his friends upon the road, and he goes everywhere that you can think of. This was a huge celebration of Batman, and I can think of no better series for anyone young or old to check out, and especially get interested in learning about all these superheroes that made a cameo in this cartoon series. Introducing new superheroes in a cartoon is a great way to get people to realize, hey, who are these heroes? How can I learn about them? And it gets them all the more interested to keep learning. If this is a way that you can introduce new viewers into learning about the Golden and Silver Age of Batman and also the superheroes that appear in this series, then it's great for doing such a great job. I was a viewer that kept watching this series that kept wanting to come back, kept wanting to find something different with this series and learn about the new superheroes, and every single week I got the chance just to do just that. Because this series was so damn awesome to come back to. Not only from the learning perspective, but just because of how damn amazing that this series was just in the total of itself. Also, one of my favorite things to do in my free time, which a lot of people probably don't know, is that I love to research and learn about different superheroes. It's one of my favorite things to do in this world. Whenever somebody talks about like a weird or obscure hero, I'm kind of like, a weird and obscure hero, and then I go to, I go online, I look it up, I go to books and research that hero, and it's like, and then I get interested to read about the said superhero. This series was the series that got me interested to read the JSA. And then finally, I got into reading the JSA during the whole pandemic era. So this series is just great for telling people like, hey, you want to learn about these weird superheroes? Or these ones that did exist and now they kind of fallen into obscurity and sometimes people don't know what to do with them anymore? This is a great series to get people introduced to them. I mean, there is a weird superhero, and I do mean weird, and DC I don't think does anything with him anymore. There's a weird superhero who Batman teamed up with in the series that is named Beast. And he is known as the White God of the Congo. When you think of Congo, you think of Africa. When you think of Africa, you think of African Americans. So you kind of see that why DC was probably like, yeah, we don't want to bring back Buona Beast anymore because um, racism is not for everybody. But if you put a good writer onto him, like if you ever brought him back, I think that you could play around with the idea with him just a little bit, kind of explain his powers more. I mean, Animal Man is not a hero that's in the series, but Animal Man was a character that was a very obscure one that was played around with until Grant Morrison redefined him and really made him, this superhero who people can just look at and be like, huh, yeah, I can see the good in this. And now there's writers that taken him in for the direction. Same with the Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, who had, his highlight movie, which I'm actually happy for, but it had me interested in going, yeah, who is this Blue Beetle? And suddenly I started to, learn through this. The power of learning with this series was actually so great because it had a power over me of like, oh, it introduced Deadman. Okay, I went and I researched Deadman. It introduced the Jack Kirby, OMAC, Kamandi, and Etrigan. I went and I researched who those characters were. It was so interesting to see the heroes that was on the screen and then go, wait, who are those? And then I go and research it, which is not bad. It's something that every single child or adult should do is sit down and watch this series and be like, yeah, I never knew who this character was, and now I'm very intrigued to learn even more from this cartoon. Knowledge is power, people, and if a TV series or even a cartoon can get you to learn about different superheroes and who they are and what their incarnations have been, that's awesome. Knowledge is a great power to have, and especially knowledge over superheroes is an awesome power to have, and this series highly recommend that you check out every single superhero that it introduces. In fact, I was going to wear my Batman Fighting Crime Since 66 shirt, which I usually wear whenever I talk about Batman, that one or the Starry Night Batman shirt that I own, but I went with the Avengers because Batman teamed up with a lot of superheroes, as I stated earlier in the series, that it kind of feels like he's making his own Mischief Avengers or Justice League team, which is very awesome to think about because Batman in the series teams up with a lot of weird superheroes. Like I said, the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle, he teams up with the Guy Gardner Green Lantern, who nobody probably heard about. That's fine. That's fine. He teamed up with the Jay Garrick Flash, again, who a lot of people probably haven't heard about. He teamed up with a lot of weird superheroes from the Golden and Silver Age of Comics, some that are still around, some that had been lost into obscurity. But this is just a great celebration of superheroes, but more notably, it is a great celebration of the man, the myth, the legend, the Batman. This series accomplished what it wanted to do: teach kids about superheroes, teach kids about how awesome Batman is, and the series definitely went for the latter and did both at the same time. Yes, this is not the serious Batman that everybody knows and loves. It's a combination of the campy side and also the heroic side, but it's awesome just for doing that in of itself. It combines every aspect of Batman that everybody should know and love, and that's not a bad thing. It is a compliment. It is a way to get people to realize, hey, there's other Batman that you should be knowing about. The series accomplished what it wanted to do, and I'm grateful for what it had done, and it brought me to the realm of superheroes that I didn't know existed, but now I'm so happy I learned all about. Yes, this series can go campy, and it can go stupid, and it can go in a variety of different areas, but every episode is cherishable in of its own rights. However, it might take the right kind of person to get used to this series because it goes all over the place, but that's what makes it remarkable. It can have one dark and edgy episode and then go straight to something campy. So to answer the big question, does this series get you to want to learn everything about Batman that you can? Yes. Yes, it does. It had terrific voice acting, terrific animation, a spectacular cast of brilliant writers and directors in a total. It really brings about the age of the superheroes. It brings to you the golden and silver age of Batman, the campy side, the heroic side, the I go on really weird fucking adventure side, but dear God, do we just love the Batman for everything that he had done and everything that he had taught us, and this series was a great celebration in of a total for the Batman. Whether you checked out this series or not, I hope that you do at some point check out Batman the Brave and the Bold. It is an awesome animated series that should be seen by everybody at least once. If it's not for you, fine. But if it is for you and if it's been a hidden gem that I recommended to you, I highly recommend that you check this out by yourself or even with a family member if you want to. This is such a great way to get people introduced into the realm of Batman and everything that he stands for and what he is, his cast members and everything, and that's awesome. Sure and granted, like I said, this series might not be for everybody, but I hope that you do check it out and see if it's amazing for yourself, or if it's not that amazing at all. I hope to hear some feedback. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Batman the Brave and the Bold if you haven't already. I highly recommend it. You can pick these up probably cheap. I mean, I paid $8 for this at my Dollar General, and I think I paid like $6 or $5 for this. I don't remember. So yeah, I got my money's worth for what I paid for. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. And remember, I've been Wade Universe. I've been waiting nerdy. Keep geeking on and take care. And I think that when we come back, I think that I'll probably take a look at one of probably the best but underrated Superman series that has ever been created. So come back next time as we're gonna go flying with some Superman, the new Adventures of Superman, and I think that you'll have fun just like me. So come back next time for taking a flight with Superman.